Welcome to our Wellness Wednesday Health Show. I'm your host, Dr. Kala Hewlett from the Back Pain and Joint Center of Texas, where we offer non-surgical solutions for your chronic back and joint problems. And for years, we've talked about healthy habits. And many people have learned how to be healthy, what they need to do. However, learning and applying it are two completely different things. That's why I'm really excited for our guest today, Maria, who is a former Olympic athlete and applied the principles of health at a very high level for many years. Maria, welcome to our show today.
Thank you, Dr. Kayla. I'm really excited to be here. Hi.
Well, we're excited to have you. Now, we just passed our Winter Olympics, and I know you were a Summer Olympic athlete. So what was your sport?
I got the privilege of being a gymnast, artistic gymnastics, and I started when I was 5 years old, and I trained through 12 years, culminating in World Championships, and I participated at the 1988 Seoul Olympic Games for my home country, for Guatemala.
Oh my goodness, how cool is that? Now, when we talk about the principles of health, what are some of the things that you learned through those many years leading up to going to the Olympics and even afterward, and now fast forward as an adult? What are some of the, we'll say, best habits that you carried over from those years?
Well, my story was kind of special because as a little girl, it was training. And when you're training 4 and then 6 hours a day, you're burning everything that you put in up until you get to about 15, 16. So for gymnasts, there's a lot of pressure on us to be very thin, to build a lot of lean body muscle and be able to work the apparatus being thin. So I learned how to eat healthy. I learned a lot theoretically about healthy principles, but then I got into trouble because my diet was too extreme. So I had a little bit of a situation with stress around food.
And I think that's common amongst some elite athletes even going back many years ago, where we didn't know what we didn't know. So it was, hey, you have to be this weight, you have to be this height for a gymnast. So maybe let's start there. What were some of the things that you learned not to do that maybe someone's doing right now?
Well, one of the things I learned not to do is to consider myself on or off. So when I was on, I was getting the spinach, the boiled chicken, the rice, blah, blah, no cheesecake, no cookies, nothing. But then these cravings were intensified for those kind of fun foods or delicious desserts. So when I kind of lost it, when I fell off the wagon, 1 slice of cheesecake wasn't enough. I needed 3. So having an extreme situation where you're not building in fun things and maybe, hey, I get to have a dessert occasionally and that kind of thing, is something I would always warn people not to do. And that's kind of what I do. I teach people, well, how can we build in the delicious stuff that's not necessarily the healthiest into your plan and be okay with it?
Got it. Avoiding those extreme swings of binging on the cheesecake because it's been weeks or months or years since you've had it.
Exactly.
Totally makes sense. And right now you have a passion for helping student athletes, is that right? And that's part of your business, is teaching student athletes how to eat better, how to move better, how to feel better, and everything under that umbrella. Is that correct?
That's it, and I just absolutely love it. So I got to do my sport up until I was 17, and then I quit cold turkey. But now I'm a mom of athletes. I have 4 student athletes in my house, and I actually get to work with a lot of kids who are in junior high school and high school. Some of them are training about 6 hours a week, 8 hours a week, and then they have games on weekends. And some of them are your hardcore 28-hour-a-week athletes. So for them, the nutrition component, the power of nutrition, how it can impact their ability to recover, their soreness, their inflammation. It's just amazing. And sometimes we come out and we need to help someone fuel for a 4-day meet. So there's a bunch of stuff there, and they're leaving crumbs on the table when they're not using nutrition as a tool.
I think you don't know what you don't know. I'm thinking even for my own children, right? They play different sports or are involved in different clubs in the community. And depending on the coach, some of the coaches are like, hey, make sure you get a good night's rest. We're like, hey, glad to hear that, and don't eat a lot of junk food because we've got a big game tomorrow, right? And okay, general. Some of the other ones where we might have a big tournament and they'll be like, hey, let's make sure we can bring some food. The girls will be busy, so we'll order pizza for them in between the games. And I'm thinking, pizza in between the games? And they'll bring just a lot of unhealthy snacks for them. And I know it's good intending teen parents, and the coach is just busy doing other things, but as a result, these young athletes are learning bad habits of how to fuel their body. So I think that's a huge need. What's an easy place to start for these student athletes?
I would say the first place to start most of the time is going to be hydration. And I just sit with them and we talk and we see, okay, your body, hey Joni, this is what you weigh. How much are you exercising? Indoor, outdoor? How much are you sweating? What are the types of things you're doing the rest of the day? How much brain energy are you consuming? Well, I'm taking 3 AP classes. Are they growing? We kind of estimate it in their growing years. Are they in the middle of a growth spurt? And then, well, this is about how much water you really need. I don't like water. Okay, let's find your water substitutes. A, B, C, D. I forget to drink. Okay, let's overcome that obstacle to remember. What would make you remember? And we play games and we do mindset games and examples and we have a workbook. And, I've had kids who are 19, second year in college, 20. They've been hearing hydrate, hydrate, hydrate for 13 years and they've learned to hydrate in the last 2 weeks.
They're just now picking up. Now, when it comes to hydration, specifically during a sport, are you a fan of Gatorade or are you a fan of other electrolyte replacements? I know my answer, but I want to hear yours as a former Olympic athlete.
I think there are lots of good drinks. Remember, Gatorade was developed for the athlete who's sweating and who's losing a lot of sweat or they're training. So it's developed with a certain combination of carbohydrate and sodium, which is basically the main electrolyte that we're losing. So I think Gatorade is a good drink. I personally use other drinks. When that's not available, we go to Gatorade. And then we dilute, 1 water bottle, 1 Gatorade bottle. We do this, we do that. I am a fan of drinks that are sweetened with like coconut water and that kind of thing as well. And some of the drinks that I really like are actually building in more than 1 electrolyte. So you got some magnesium, some chromium in there because you're also missing that. But sometimes we'll apply that as a pre-workout hydration beverage and then something else as a post and during. So it's kind of like a little bit of everything. You can make the strategy work there.
Okay, good. For our family, we'll use a lot of like sports electrolyte drinks, but not so much the Gatorade because high level of sugars. Now, if there's nothing else, there's nothing else, but we'll usually come prepared to an event and there's different packets you can buy. There's sports electrolytes. So I usually like the ones you can add to water bottles just because it has less of the unhealthy sugars and it has more of, like you said, the potassium and other electrolytes. So I think on a good, better, best scale, I definitely think there's some really good, better ones. Yeah, we'll say best ones.
Yeah.
But anyways, I just want to know your thought on that.
And it's situational too, because sometimes, if they're training that hard, they need that carbohydrate. They need that quick sugar.
Their body's just going to burn it so quickly.
But I see, okay, he's playing soccer for 1 hour. He literally runs down the field 3 times. It's 45 degrees out there. That's when you don't need that Gatorade. That's when that's a load of sugar. That's not what he needs at the moment.
Okay, so even understanding what capacity, almost like a car, like how fast is your car going, how much fuel is it burning, similar as an athlete, it's okay to consume some of the Gatorades at times if your body's burning that quickly and utilizing.
And you need the replacement quickly.
But if it's not, excessive sugar gets stored as fat and that becomes an issue. Exactly. Okay, so it's even knowing the right application. That's why fun. You work. That's why you do what you do. Because Okay. Hydration. What would be a number 2 step? We'll go like a 1, 2, 3 step when you work with athletes.
Okay, sure. So the second one I would say is that we need to eat more often. So the nutrient timing is super important. We need to know what to eat 3-4 hours before an intense training session. We need to know what to eat the hour before. And if you're like the gymnasts that do like 4-hour workouts, what is that fuel that you can get during practice? And so I teach them a whole lot. Well, these are the complex carbs. These are the simple carbs. This might make your stomach upset. Okay, and then after practice, super important. How can I repair the muscle that's just been torn apart, with your hard practice? And how can I build up the glycogen storages that you just completely depleted? Okay. So what's the good nutrient combination? So how to eat before, how to eat during, how to eat after all of this so you can perform better and so you can be less sore because you're promoting recovery.
Is that going to change a bit sport to sport? So for example, if you have a cross-country runner compared to a gymnast or a football player, are those recommendations going to vary based on the needs of that sport?
It changes per sport, it changes per person, and it changes per person in season. So when you're training super hard and you have dual meets that you don't even taper for, you need to feel a certain way. Well, now we're tapering. We just had state meet on Saturday, for example. I just came from Austin with my son. He was tapering. Okay, we needed to feel completely different than when you're training at peak.
Okay.
So it's going to change even for the same person situationally once again. So it's really strategic. It's a lot of fun to learn and kind of tweak it. And you need to do trial and error too, doctor.
Okay.
Because what might work for you might not work for him.
Okay. Totally makes sense.
Yeah.
As you're thinking that, again, I love all sports, and I think of, again, just going back to a sports car. I had a family member years back that was involved in that, and you look at the fuel that they use. If someone's doing like a drag race, it's a type of fuel. If they're doing NASCAR, if they're doing Indy, depending on if it's a long race. So the fuel will vary based on the needs of that vehicle. What I'm hearing the same way, the fuel or the food that we consume, how we consume it, is going to vary based on our body, our sport, and the events of that weekend or day.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. And it might seem complicated. It's really a lot simpler than it sounds, especially when I'm giving them some of this education. They're applying it. We talk, and again, in a week, we have a follow-up. How did this feel? How did that go? So you see these kids, as they're so hungry for tools to be better at their sport and to have more energy. In 4 to 6 months, they've got it. You know, they've acquired so much, so much knowledge and confidence, and they order out. They know what to eat on a travel meet, etc.
I think that's brilliant.
They're amazing
I
kids.
think when I played sports when I was younger,
off the starting block in swimming, about 17% faster than an athlete who's sleep deprived and not well rested.
17%.
Yes. So when I know it's a 50 free, for your
goodness.
sprinters, 17% off quicker off the starting block. So you take these numbers from the studies that are done. Serving accuracy in tennis has also been studied. There's just a bunch of stuff. So you use these little, nuggets of information, you make it really relevant to them, and they're like, okay, oh my gosh, that 1 hour of going to bed earlier can have this much impact on me.
I can get a 17% advantage. That's the difference between placing high, maybe even getting first place. And oftentimes you go to these meets, other competitions, the margin is this much between first, second, third, fourth,
Exactly.
fifth. Oh my goodness, okay. Love that tip.
So there's good information there, but resting, and so then we start to work on, well, what is getting in the way? Well, I never have time. I have AP classes. So we kind of tear down the whole schedule. Well, what can you do here? What can you do there? Where can you mix and match? Where can you save time? Usually we find at least 30 or 45 idle minutes in the day that are not being best utilized. Use them for rest.
So when you work with these athletes, you'll actually work with looking at their schedule and saying, hey, here's where we can either add some rest, or perhaps you can do some of your homework here to allow you to get rest, so shuffling things around.
Exactly, yes. I mean, they do 90% of the work. I'm just like the little lever, but the knowledge is inside. I just help them put it into words and put it out there. So it's super fun. They end up realizing they know a lot more than they thought. They just need to use it in a certain way.
If you have a child or a sibling or a grandchild who plays sports, I hope you're taking notes right now. I really do. I'm taking notes mentally just for my children in the sports they play. So through this Houston area, club sports just overall, whether it's sports in school or club sports after school, I know there's a lot of time, energy that parents invest into that. And I've never really come across someone like you that's dedicated to helping them in this way. We learned about skills. They have a gymnastics coach, they have a hitting coach, they have a sport-specific coach, but very, very rarely have I ever met someone talking about the hydration, the diet, the rest. And those are just your top three. I know there's other things you do as well, but really coaching them on how to properly fuel their body and putting their body in the right position to perform. I see this as a key component that could potentially be missing in many of these athletes that could help them. Gosh, just even the rest, the 17% improvement just off the rest alone. So if someone wants to connect with you, what is the best way for them to reach out?
Thank you. Well, I have a website that is actually just being launched. So if it's not perfect, please excuse me and support me. It's letsbefittoday.com. And I chose Let's Be Fit Today because that's like the fourth element would be mindset. In order to do all of this stuff, we got to get your mind in powerful beliefs. Okay, so part of it is let's do it today, not wait until the perfect moment.
Not wait till, hey, let's wait till Monday, or hey, let's wait till the first of the month. It's today. I can drink a glass of water today. I can learn how to cope with my disappointment today and put it aside and go to my next event doing it really well today. I don't have to wait until the perfect conditions. So that's the name, and I also have an Instagram, which is letsbefittoday.nutrition, and in Facebook. So we always answer within 2 business days maximum. And sometimes I just get questions, and some kids are so cute. They'll send me like a picture of this protein bar,
should I have this one? Because you said something about added sugars. So it's fun to see how their brain is already making all these connections.
Gosh, they're learning so much already in school. Just being able to learn this,
Yeah.
this is something valuable that when they can learn, it can take them not only through their sports right now, but really for a lifetime if they learn how to fuel their body.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Now, your husband, was he an Olympic athlete as well?
Yes, he was.
Okay.
I'm proud to say. So I met my husband. We were both retired athletes at the time, but I had competed in Seoul in 1988, and he was a swimmer who had competed in 92 Barcelona and 96 Atlanta games.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a match made in heaven. You know, we fell in love. We connected very quickly,
So-
and we always knew we wanted to raise our kids through sports. So many life lessons in sports: diligence, teamwork, humility, patience. You know, just learning to find that inner strength. So we just wanted our kids to be athletes, and they are, and they love it. And
So the things that
Yeah.
you coach other students on are things right now that you're coaching and working with your own children as well.
every day,
Okay.
and their friends, their teammates, etc.
Oh, cool.
And I'm out timing at the pool, and I'm at the diving meets, and
So what sports are your children in right now?
so my daughter, who was a swimmer then gymnast, she trained at the Simone Biles gyms for a while, then she went back to swimming. She just took up diving.
Okay.
So now I'm entering the diving world.
Okay.
But no more gymnasts, and I have 3 swimmers.
Okay.
So my little one swims, and my twins swim, and my son is going to be swimming for A&M in a year and a half.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so that's
Very, very cool.
exciting.
Is that the one who had to meet this past weekend?
Yes, the state meet.
How did he do in Austin?
Oh, he did awesome. He actually, the relays did great. They got 3rd place, the boys team at state, and he got a 2nd place in the 100 breaststroke.
That is really cool. Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Again, the proof right there is again, you practice what you preach. That's why I wanted to have you on today.
Thank you.
And again, I'm so excited for the work that you're doing, the passion that you have for helping these student athletes learn how to fuel, learn how to hydrate, learn the proper mindset and rest to help them not just perform their sports, but really this is about, to me as a doctor, it's about performing in life. Whether that's performing as a husband, as a father, as a mother, performing in your workplace, performing in school, these principles apply just in life, period.
Life
So anyways,
skills.
Maria, thank you so much for your time. I
Thank
know you're
you.
very busy. As always, wish you guys the absolute best in health and wellness. We're gonna put all of Maria's info so you can connect with her. Again, if you have a student athlete in your family, whether it's your household or extended family, make sure y'all connect with Maria. That way they can get the tips to perform at a very high level. See y'all next week.
Thanks.